Hi, everybody. I'm Miley Martin from Student Activities at Fresno City College, and today we're spotlighting American Indian Heritage Day with Dr. Bernard Navarro, who is a sociology studies and American Indian history studies instructor at Fresno City College. So let's welcome Dr. Bernard Navarro. I can't get it out. Hi,
How you doing?
I'm doing good. So good to see you.
Good to see you as well.
I hope the semester is treating you well.
It's going pretty well. We're making it through this difficult process and doing the best we can.
Great. Well, it is November's National American Indian Heritage Month,
Mhm.
and I wanted to hear what that means, what that recognition means to you personally, and how your interest in Native American history influenced you to get into higher education.
Yeah, Native American Heritage Month actually means a lot to me and my family. Um, it's a chance for Native American communities all over the United States to share a little bit about our culture, a little bit about our history, our life ways, our worldviews, and so forth. Um, Even though COVID-19 has kind of shut down many of our activities, we're still doing our best through social media, um, through our podcasts, through the different platforms that are available to us to express gratitude to our ancestors who did so much to get us this far, and to carry on the legacy of our cultures and our histories that, in my view, really do add to this beautiful country of ours. And so yeah, it means a lot. It really, really does. Growing up as a kid in the United States, being raised up in the American education system, you learn very little about American Indians in school. At least I didn't learn a lot. And so for me, my higher education was really an adventure for me, because I got to learn so much about American Indian history, American Indian culture. And what I learned was is that our histories and our cultures are just so dynamic and so interesting, and have contributed so much to not just the United States, but also to the entire world. Um, and so, yeah, Native American Heritage Month is just an opportunity for us to share that with people, and to be able to express our life ways and our culture.
Great. So I was also surprised to learn that the term Native American Indian or Native American includes over 500 different groups of people in the US, and that the group includes Native Americans, Alaska Natives, and Hawaiian Natives. How do you think our nation should celebrate all of America's indigenous peoples?
Yeah, that's a great question. I always try to tell my students is that Native American culture is really dynamic and diverse. You're absolutely correct. There's over 500 federally recognized tribes. These are tribes that are acknowledged by the federal government. And there's also tribes that do not have federal acknowledgement, but they have state acknowledgement. And so we literally have, hundreds of different communities that have their own unique history, their own unique culture, their own unique ceremonies, dances, songs, and so forth. And I think that the best way that I try to explain it to people is that we should just recognize the diversity among Indigenous people. And while there isn't one Native American culture, we share many commonalities: our love for the land, respect for our elders, respect for the plant life and the animal life, and a deep connection to our ecologies. And so, even though Native Americans are an incredibly diverse group of people, wherever I go, wherever I travel, and I encounter Indigenous people, I encounter people that have a value system and a belief system that is very similar to my own culture. I am a Southern Ute, and we have a deep connection to the land, and we have ceremonies that reconnect us to our homelands. And every tribe I've encountered basically has the same kind of ceremonies. And so the way that I think we should celebrate it is acknowledging that Native Americans are very diverse, and that, we should learn as much as we can learn about the people who occupy the lands that we currently live on. And so I always try to tell people that, we should acknowledge like your Yokuts and the Mono people, who are the original people of the San Joaquin Valley and the Sierra foothills. And so much love and respect to them and their communities, and they continue to carry on their legacy. They do so much for our communities. And I think that's probably the best way that we could honor Native people, is learn about the local people.
Mhm.
And share, with our kids, share with our loved ones and our friends, family members, and so forth, what little that we know about indigenous cultures.
Well, I'm so happy you brought up Yokuts because Fresno City College has such great diversity. But can you share with us a little bit about how you came about creating the Yokuts Plaza with John Cho? How did that all come about?
Yeah, that was a really beautiful project that I was able to put together with Professor John Cho, the Cultural Studies Department, and also several community members. The idea of having an area on campus that honored our local indigenous communities was something that we had been thinking about and dialoguing about, probably going back, I don't know, over 10 years ago. And so this wasn't something that we just put together. We started talking about it and thinking about how could we do something here on campus that really did honor the history and the cultures of the Yokuts and the Mono people. And so we put together this project. Professor Cho was a tremendous help. I could not have done it without him. He really pushed me hard to see this through. But there were several other people as well. Eric Escovedo, he did the artwork for Yocutz Plaza. And there were so many different community members as well that worked with us. But we really wanted to just to acknowledge the fact that Fresno City College sits on Native land. I mean, the United States of America at one time belonged to Native American communities throughout this beautiful country, but yet we know so little about them. And so this is just our way of saying thank you to the original people who were the caretakers of the San Joaquin Valley, and to pay our respects to them and have a place on campus that acknowledged that this was their homeland, and said a little something about these people in these communities. And so we were able to get this really beautiful monument. And back in 2014, we unveiled it and we invited all the local tribes. And it was one of the most satisfying events that I've ever been a part of, to see community members from all over the valley, indigenous people from all these different backgrounds come together, and to unveil the monument and have these local leaders come here and participate in that was truly a beautiful event, a beautiful day, something that I always remember.
Mm-hmm. No, I remember it. You and Professor Cho are definitely legacy makers on the campus for creating that beautiful plaza. What other events or activities would you like to see more of on campus to highlight cultural events, if any?
Yeah, I think Fresno City College, one of the amazing things about this campus and the people who work for the college, people like yourself, is that you really do care about the cultural and ethnic diversity that we have here in the Valley. And so to me, we do an outstanding job of putting on events that show the diversity of our student body. And that's so, so important. And so, I've been able to do a lot of events in the past. And, I hope to continue to help out in putting events together. I guess really what I'd like to see is just a continuation of what we already do, the hard work that you and your people do. John Cho in Asian American Studies, our Chicano Latino Studies, our African American Studies department do such an outstanding job. I guess what I would like to see more of is just these younger generation of students become professors and carry on this legacy that is really just incredible here at the college, because we, I think, do some of the the best events here in Fresno. And I'm not just saying that because I work for the college. I really do believe that.
Uh-huh.
Events like Asian Fest, Asian American Month. I mean, these are just so important to not just the students, but to the Valley as a whole. And so
Exactly.
I feel the same way about our Native American events that we do. So I just hope that we can continue to do these events and to grow them and to bring more people into the Fresno City College family.
Well, Dr. Navarro, thank you so much for sharing your views on Native American Indian Heritage Month. And is there anything else you'd like to share?
Just to let people know to go check out Yocutz Plaza on campus. When we get a chance to get back to campus, it's near the art building, and to learn as much as you can about Indigenous cultures. We have a fantastic American Indian Studies program at Fresno City College. Truly, again, one of the best in the country. We're one of the few community colleges where you could actually get a degree and a certificate in American Indian Studies. And so if you want to take a class and learn more about Indigenous people, Fresno City College really is the place. So just a shout out to all the people who've helped make that program one of the best in the country. And I can't wait to get back on campus and start doing the hard work that we've always done.
Exactly. I feel the same way. It's just not the same not being on the campus to celebrate everyone and their diversity. Well, thank you, Dr. Navarro, for joining me today on Spotlight on Native American Indian Heritage Month. I wish you the best, safe travels, stay well, and we will be talking soon. Thank you so much. Bye.